Well, Bob, it's good to see you again, and this time in sunny Somerset.
Yeah, I've escaped from Devon.
Well, the smells are the same down here,
They
so
certainly are.
there's not too much of a change. Now, last time I was out with you, we talked off camera about the Pallatrax Associated Fishery Scheme. Quite a hard thing to say quickly, but what exactly is that?
It's where Pallatrax, which is a very forward-thinking, environmentally aware company that really does walk hand in hand with fisheries. Everything I've developed within the company has always been as around a fishery management tool. So it's where Pallatrax is embracing fisheries, helping fisheries in lots of different ways, and it's just a really good initiative.
So how exactly did it come about?
Unfortunately, I had a fish kill years ago at my first lakes, and when I started kind of shouting out for help, I was really struggling, and the kind of best advice I was given was dig a hole, bury your fish, and don't tell anybody about it, which obviously didn't make any sense whatsoever to me. So as things have blossomed for Pallatrax and we've progressed and we've gotten bigger, basically now I'm in a position to basically assist fisheries as best I can.
Now, with the name scheme in it, you'd obviously imagine there's a cost to sign up, but is there a cost to join?
Nope, none whatsoever. It's something, it's a passion. Like I say, when I was in trouble, I didn't have anybody to go to for advice. Like I've always said, the one thing I do know is I don't know it all, but with all the contacts I've got in the trade and things like that, we can certainly do already help a lot of fisheries.
So say I had my own fishery, what would be the benefits of me joining?
There's a rake of things, to be quite honest, and it is down to the fishery to engage with us. There's everything. You get a free page on my website with all the links through to you. You get free leaflets. We put them in our orders when they go out. We give lots of marketing. If products are caught on Pallatrax, they supply us with videos or still images. We will use those and cross-pollinate the marketing, so they get loads and loads, like places like the Quay. You know, almost every day we're shouting out because they use our baits and products over there so frequently. So yeah, we take our team Pallatrax members there, we film there. There's a whole load of things, and obviously the backstory is that everything I'm doing is a fishery management tool.
Now, as this is fronted by you, a lot of people may be thinking that they can only use Pallatrax products. Now, is that the case if someone's to join the scheme, or can they use other companies?
Not at all. I mean, no. It's like I say, I do it for a passion. If I can help people, that's what it's all about. Obviously, we go to them with an array of products that most, if not all, dare I say, embrace in one shape, form or another. But no, it's not that kind of game at all.
Now, you mentioned that once someone signed up to this scheme that you'll have a website page or there's links to their fishery. Is there any other ways that PAFs are promoted and highlighted?
Yeah, every opportunity. Team Pallatrax is well in excess of 3,000 people, so we promote the fishery to them. We promote it on all of our different social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. As I said earlier, we do leaflet drops. We give out leaflets at the shows, like we'll be at the Carp Fishery this year. So it's really, the fact is that we will literally shout out about the venue and help them with any advice or anything else I can do.
Now, we've already gone through the inception of it and why you've set it up, but what qualifies you to run such a scheme?
Probably a school of hard knocks. 26 years, coming into the fishery business, pretty blind, pretty naive, and just staying focused on fishery management. The fish kill I had, you know, it's still to this day, you know, it was a terrible thing, and I have to blame myself in many ways through a naive approach to fishery management where I wasn't looking after my water quality as I should have been. And I was putting, you know, all these different baits and trout pellet, halibut pellet, all these things that were basically fundamentally going to cause problems, and they did cause problems.
So to join up, it's completely free, as you mentioned, but once a fishery is joined and they want some extra advice and help, does that bit cost?
No, not at all. Like I say, it's a huge passion of mine. If I can help other people, especially when it's the environmental impact angling can have in a negative way, if we can make it into a positive, that can only be a good thing now and going forward. So there's absolutely no cost. Obviously, with the amount of time I've had in the industry, and I've obviously worn lots of hats, but the one thing about Pallatrax is we've always focused on fishery well-being. So no, not at all. If we can help, or if you can point them in the right direction if they've got a particular problem and I can't can't assist, there's normally someone in my, my little black book, so to speak, that I can put them in touch with.
As you've already mentioned, people don't have to use Pallatrax stuff once they join. They can use whatever they want, but I've known you for several years now myself. I know how passionate you are about bait. So can you tell us a bit more about the whole Pallatrax range?
Well, everything I developed after the fish kill. So the first thing was I wanted to make sure I was using regulated ingredients that not only help the angler catch more, good quality bait helps catch more, it was very much a biomass food source. So we shape it into an angler appealing shape, so to speak, but it's all about the ingredients. So the angler gets the best, it's a win-win because the fishery goes in, it feeds the fish get bigger, the anglers are catching bigger fish, but if they're not feeding on it for a host of reasons, then it's going to feed the invertebrate life. So it's almost like we're looking at the invertebrate life as much as anything, because if we can get that to flourish and be healthy and grow, and if we can give it things to do that, well, it's a win-win for everybody.
And moving on from the bait, you've also got the grips. Now, how does that benefit the angler, fish and fisheries?
I mean, the grips have been a phenomenal success and just growing and growing and growing day on day on, because now people are realising it's not a gimmick, it is a genuine third design, a third hook point. So you've got barbed, you've got barbless, and now you've got grips. Grips is the design, and they do what they say. Ultra sharp, stays in place. As soon as you release the pressure, it will fall out, and that's predominantly in the net or on the mat, so it's great. And the beautiful thing is no mouth damage. Obviously fisheries want pristine fish, anglers want pristine fish. Unfortunately, there is fish out there with bad mouth damage. What you do get is minimal, if any, mouth damage at all. Obviously you're putting a hook in, but it comes out, and you say no slippage, no damage. It's revolutionising the hook industry.
And then moving on once again to the stone's weight, which is another one of your items you can get. And what's the benefits of that to the angler, fish and fishery?
That's something that's resonating yet again through fisheries. More and more fisheries are now aware that what has been said about lead within the trade over the years is actually a flawed statement. It's put out there that lead doesn't dissolve in water, and that's correct. But what it does do, it impacts on the substrate life. So for example, if you were to drop loads and loads of lead onto a hot spot, which might be a bloodworm bed or a mollusk bed, that lead will cause damage, and it can cause damage in two ways. It will either kill the life forms or it will displace them. So more and more people are getting aware of it. More and more fisheries are now realising that lead is a problem. But also, if you look at the recent announcement by the European Fishing Tackle Trade Association, they have literally last week come out and said lead's going to get banned and you need to be prepared for it, and that is to the trade. And if you look at, unfortunately, the English trade, the EA, Angling Trust and things like that, they don't seem to have kind of recognised what has been said. And the fact is that it does damage substrate life. It can impact on water quality and the general biomass. But also, I think the horrible thing is, the reason they're really pushing for a ban is the fact is that children are very susceptible to lead poisoning through the smelting process or through just general handling. They're 13 times more likely to get lead poisoning just by handling it because of the formation of their skin. So that the World Health Organization, the European Chemicals Agency, the European Union, lead's going, and for the better. It is nothing about selling stones. I'm not interested in that. But what I am interested in is we protect the future, not just of the sport. Can you imagine if the general public knew that anglers were dumping literally thousands and thousands of lead each day across Europe? We're now talking thousands of tons. And it's reckless, it's naive, it's littering, and it's causing fishery owners a problem. They don't want lead. So at the end of the day, I'm the first to say there's a plethora of different manufacturers out there who make non-toxic, it's in the word, isn't it, non-toxic weights. Hence, by default, all lead's toxic. So at the end of the day, a fishing weight is just a weight. People use spark plugs, they've used stones over centuries, they've used all kinds of manner of things. One thing it shouldn't be made of is a toxic material which damages the environment and damages the health of humans.
That's all sounding well and good, but with the name scheme, surely there's going to be some kind of catch.
No, not at all. There's a lot of assumption put out there thinking there is some kind of catch, and there isn't. I mean, you're already seeing it with fisheries engaging with us so prolifically. You know, fisheries going grips only, recognising the value of a third hook design. Why do we only have two hook designs? Well, we don't have to. Let's have a third one, and the third one is embracing modern technology, and therefore we can work to produce a product which is very, very durable and very, very fish safe. Another great example is the baits. I mean, I've obviously put together baits using a lot of research within the koi market, within the fish farming market, making sure everything's regulated. All bait companies in the UK should now be animal feeds regulated. We certainly are. And so we can provide bait advice to create really, really good food sources like supplementary diets for the fish, but also for the general biomass and also for the angler. So again, it's something we offer. I've certainly been through you know, a rocky patch many years ago, and we're now kind of sticking our head above the parapet. More and more people are seeing what's happening with Pallatrax. There is no hidden agenda. We're totally transparent, and like I say, you can speak to a great number of fisheries that are already engaging and already benefiting with that relationship.